Hi everyone, it's Dave Lourdes here and welcome to my first video blog. In an earlier blog post I gave you the top 5 traits of toxic teams, and in that same post I said to you, later on I'm going to give you some get out of jail strategies, so if you're in one of those teams you can break free and get your groove back. So first I want to recap what were those 5 traits of toxic teams. So number 1 was favoritism. This is where there's someone in the team who you think is wearing a halo, but only the boss can see it. This person can't do anything wrong, okay? So there's favoritism in the team. Number 2 was what I call snakes in suits. What this means is, it's either your boss or your colleagues, and they're taking credit for your hard work. This is the smiling assassin, okay? The third one was mind-numbing meetings, and I don't think I really need to say any more about that. You know what these mind-numbing meetings are all about. The fourth one was what we call the mirror treatment. What I mean by that is, this is where you're called into a meeting and they said, hey, we value your feedback. And you give your feedback and the most common response is, we'll look into it. And you know what that means. Yeah, we'll just keep looking into it, but nothing will actually change. And the final one was the yes man or the yes woman. These people are constantly just saying yes to everything. They can't say no to anything. And what it means for you is your workload becomes a nightmare. Now, all of this you already know is just a manifestation of bad management. And let's be honest, if you're working, not only are these sorts of things common, they're inevitable. Okay? So let's look at the first one, favoritism. I'm going to go through all 5 of them now. We'll look at favoritism and so on, and then I'm going to give you some get out of jail strategies for yourself so you can survive this sort of stuff. So number 1, favoritism. Ask yourself 3 questions. The first one is, how often is this actually happening? Now, if this is happening once every 6 weeks or once a month, I don't think it's really favoritism. So ask yourself, just check assumptions here. How often is this really happening? Number 2 is, what's this other person doing that I'm not doing? So what are they actually doing? You know what? They might be working harder than you. They might be turning up to voluntary meetings where you're not. So what's this other person doing that I'm not doing? So look at that first. And the final one is, what are you doing to actually strengthen your relationship with your boss? Because that's what it's all about. So what can you do? This is about taking responsibility. Snakes in suits, right? Remember, this is someone taking credit for your work. This one's actually easy. And all it is, there goes the BlackBerry. All it is actually stepping up, and you have to have a conversation with this person. Now, first of all, I will admit, you need to have the skill. If you haven't got the skill, you can't have the conversation. So if you haven't got the skill, you need to learn it. And what I might do in a future post is, if enough people actually want to know how to do that, I'll do a future post about it. So if you want to know that, leave a comment on the blog. Let me know what you got out of this one. And just say, hey Dave, I'd like your 7-step process for how to actually step up and have a tough conversation. And then I'll do it in a future post. Also, if you've got the snakes in suits in your team, so someone's taking credit for your work, and if you're not willing to do anything about it, I've got the perfect job for you. Go and get a job as a speed hump and just let people run all over you for a living. You know what? If it's important enough, you've got to do something about it. Mind-numbing meetings. 2 things you can do here. First of all, what's your contribution to the boringness of this meeting? Right? What are you contributing to it? Because if you're sitting back and you're a spectator, you're part of the problem. And number 2, this is the most simple one, and this is a great way to improve your personal brand. Put your hand up to chair the meeting. Take on chairing the meeting. Why would you do that? Simple. If you take responsibility for chairing the meeting, you can be the hero that actually rescues the team from the brain fade that happens in these meetings. So not only are you taking responsibility, it's really good for your personal share price or personal brand. The mirror treatment, right? Remember, this is the one where, hey, give us your feedback, and when you give the feedback, we'll look into it, and nothing happens. This one's tricky, but there's a couple of things you can do. The first thing that you can do is actually be persistent in asking for updates. At the next team meeting, ask for updates. When your boss asks, has anyone got any questions? Just say, yeah, I've got a question. Ask for an update. The second one you can do is actually ask for an update in email, because this puts pressure on your boss to respond, because now it's like, oh no, now it's in writing. Okay? So they're 2 simple things you can do. And the bottom line here is don't be afraid to ask, and ask again, and ask again. If it's important enough, never give up. And the final one was the yes man or the yes woman. To borrow a line from Jerry Maguire, show me the money. What you need to do here is show the person who keeps saying yes, show them the impact that the additional work is actually having, not only on the core business of the team, but on their reputation as a leader. You've got to show them how is this additional workload negatively impacting sales, service, and how's it impacting the customers? You may have some customers actually leaving. These days there's all these sort of metrics that manage the way we are at work. So there'd be some hard evidence that you can actually show them. The point of doing this, you have to show people what it's costing the business and their reputation by them when they keep rolling over. You've got to show them, hey, this is what it's costing the business, this is what it's costing their reputation by you keep rolling over, because only then will they even consider actually changing their behaviour. So that's it. They're the top 5 traits and little things that you can do. That's it for now. Short and sweet. I'll see you next time, and keep being a star in your career or your business. See you next time.